I do come from a more traditional, conservative family, whatever that implies. You see, my mom and dad both being from some part of the South, from some part of the Bible Belt, they always grew up and met in the church. See, they were always missionary Baptists, designated to lead others astray to their rightful Lord. And see, when my dad moved here a couple years back, he held this morning Bible study every day, during which I had to either step up and impress, or risk embarrassing myself in front of tons of other men, seeing as I was an extension of him. See, people always expected great things of me, expecting me to become some sort of martyr or a savior, expecting me to become a miracle. And though he would never admit it, see, every summer my dad wanted me to do this sort of manual labor, the sort of grit-inducing activities that would turn me into the typical red-blooded, normal Southerner. According to U.S. correspondent Tim Tiemann of the Times of London with regards to outing used to be for the purpose of shaming sexual hypocrites who said one thing in public and another in private, but also to challenge the notion that there was anything shameful in being called gay. However, for others today, being outed can lead to substantial psychological pain, suicidal ideation, damage beyond repair. As author Gerard Conley struggles with this challenge, as well as to come to terms with his own identity, he shows us we can become comfortable in our own. Boy Erased by Gerard Conley. And see, at home I had to focus exclusively on my sinfulness. See, I kept this diary in which I would write down a sinful behavior, share it with a therapy group, friends, others, and put faith in God that I could be absolved of it. See, there were always new rules or restrictions to learn. So my dad actually invited a missionary Baptist preacher over to our house one time to tell us about our inner deviant sexuality. So the guy says, Harry Potter is nothing more than a seducer of children's souls. See, I had no doubt that my other counselors and my parents would somehow adjust to this, and my time spent in Hogwarts would have to remain a private pleasure. But, see, it never really felt like you were free back home. It was always like there was someone watching you or some rule preventing you from being yourself. But, see, just later that year, I got my chance. I remember standing on a college dorm entrance with nothing but a cardboard box hugged to my chest. Here in this small college dorm with a liberal arts mecca, there was no one to stop me from cursing. There was Thursday afternoon chapel to attend, and if I didn't, no worries. Here, no one seemed to care what I said or did. I just remember standing on the curb as a first-day freshman holding one last box of empty picture frames. And as I walked, one of the frames fell down the steps. As I knelt down to pick it up, a voice asked if I needed help. David. He had this empty, zippered up smile of a youth pastor. He was a freshman here too. See, as we walked, we found we had a lot in common, actually. Both preferred waking up earlier in the morning. Both were interested in running, both considered ourselves heavy studiers. And see, halfway through the second semester, and I still barely knew David when he asked about church. You know, he said, I'll make you this bet. If I beat you in a race, then you come to my church. I've even already run today. I lost that bet. And I just remember standing in David's room after the service, and he's acting all silly, talking in tongues, making all these jokes, and I loved him. And a couple hours later, and it happened. See, at first it was like my baptism. See, I felt my body go under, and like my baptism, I was no longer invisible anymore. But, see, David called my mother. A few weeks later, out of his own desperate guilt, and told her that her only son was a homosexual, a gay. He just said, I'm weak. He said, I'm untrustworthy. He said, I'm disgusting. He said, I am a monster. And so, of course, my mom comes home to the college that night to ask that I come home to speak to my father. I just told her it was true that I was gay. And later that night, my dad said, you'll never step foot in this house again if you act on your feelings. You'll never finish your education. You'll never speak to any one of us again. Your mom, I, your friends. Why would God even want to look at you? Well, you think I chose this? I have followed your methods. I have listened to that damn book for the last 19 years, and maybe, just maybe, that's the reason I haven't sat on the bed and swallowed a bottle of pills yet! Who's God, huh? Did he abandon me, or did he just never exist in the first place? Or things didn't get better. They actually sent me to a conversion camp. And I just keep thinking about how people are going to keep doing these kinds of things, going to their interviews, their magazine articles, talking about how, they saved their son, they saved their daughter from themselves. You're right. I just think about how I used to operate and live in a world that lived on such extremes. But then I think about how I'm in this world now. I read a couple articles and realize that what I may have experienced may have been unique, but in no way different from history. But different, yet somehow connected to everyone else's struggle. And I think about where I am now, and I'm confident. I'm confident in my place, in my future, in Harry Potter, and in my faith. And somehow that's all that matters to me right now.